Dear colleagues, we have our next report, and I'm giving our virtual floor to Professor John Johnson. Professor Johnson, please.
Здравствуйте все. Очень рад, что я могу представить сегодня у вас. Жаль, что я не могу быть там. Я помню, на прошлом году я там был, и очень интересно было. Было очень приятно встречаться с вами. И, конечно, было бы лучше быть там, но в этом году я очень занят в Америке, к сожалению. И, значит, я буду выступать, но это международная конференция, я буду выступать на английском. Но если у вас вопросы, можно дать мне вопрос потом. Хорошо?
Okay.
Okay, great. So shall I start?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So today I want to talk about systems of accountability for online instructors in the United States. And I want to thank our colleagues for the opportunity to present. I know last year it was so great to meet all of you there in person. I also want to thank Svetlana Leonidovna of Precedent Academics for organizing this. And I will be presenting today with Dr. Steve Wells. So a little bit about his background and then mine. Dr. Wells serves as a research director for the Doctor of Education program at Walden University, and that's a very large program. They have around 10,000 students. And Dr. Wells also has presented in a number of different countries and done a great deal of academic work in Asia as well. A little bit about my background. My doctorate is in intercultural education, and I have taught extensively and also written extensively in the area of online of international business and cross-cultural communication. So let me get started, and I would like to ask how much time there is today for the presentation.
In principle, you are the last presenter, so you have as much time as you would like to have.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. So I will give a brief overview of the content, and then Dr. Wells will summarize either by video or audio, and we will allow some time for questions. Okay, now as you know, online learning is becoming more and more popular in the United States. There has been a great growth in online learning. Let me I'm now on the slide entitled Key Tendencies of Online Learning in the United States. So I'm on the fourth slide. Now we're going to talk about the fourth slide just a moment.
Okay, slide number 4.
Slide number 4. So 69.1% of chief academic leaders say that online learning is critical to their long-term strategy, and only 11.2% of institutions report that online education is not critical to their long-term strategy. And I can tell you that, especially in the last 5 or 6 years, online education has gained a great deal in credibility. It is very popular here, and not only do the leaders believe more in it, but also many people, many professors and students are very engaged in it. Let's discuss slide number 5.
Okay, slide number 5.
The number of students taking at least one online course increased by over 570,000 students in the last year. And the total number of students taking at least one online course in the United States is 6.7 million, which is 32% of all students. So we see very much that this is the present and the future. Some things that you should know about American education, and that is, in some cases, education is perceived as a service, and teachers or instructors are viewed as service providers. And students are seen as clients, although that does not mean students have all authority. Obviously, students don't always want to do what they need to do, as we all know. But so there is accountability for students, but especially in for-profit institutions, students have many rights. And so it's very important for their needs to be met. And this is one reason we have systems of accountability for faculty in the United States, is because we have to guard the rights of students to an education. In government institutions, the state guarantees their right. And in private institutions, it's not only the state, but also the for-profit university also guarantees their rights. So what are online professors expected to do? We're now on slide number 7.
Okay, slide 7.
So online professors in the United States are to be facilitators, and especially in the online environment, not many systems use lectures, live lectures. A few systems do, but if they do, this is considered more of a backup system. And so they are expected to facilitate learning. Usually that's done through discussion boards. They are expected to cover the same material as a face-to-face course would cover. They are expected to directly interact with students. And this is very important because the interaction between students in the online classroom, it has much to do with how connected students feel with their professors. So, for example, if a professor is interacting every day in a discussion board with students, they are more likely to feel satisfied with the content of the course. So they are expected to have real-world experience. They are expected to have, if they are teaching business, we expect that they have done business themselves. If they are teaching education, we expect that they will have taught students themselves or been involved. It's usually not enough for them just to know theory. They need to have practiced as well in many cases. And they are to be flexible and supportive, and this is a key aspect of it. They are to provide emotional support for students. Learning online is not always easy, and because of this, they need to provide emotional support. And so these are some of the important aspects of online professors. And then slide number 8, just a brief overview of what online learning is. There are different kinds of online teaching and learning, and Dr. Wells and I deal mostly with courses that are almost entirely online. That would be the bottom category. And that is where our students do go to class maybe once a year. They go to residencies, but most of their work is done online. And there is greater demand in the United States for classes that are mostly online. And the reason for that is it has to do with why students choose online learning. Students choose online learning because they're busy, because they're working, because they have difficult schedules. And because of this, courses where if they have to be available, if they have to be in a live session with a professor at a certain time, that does not work for many students who would choose online. So this is by far the more popular option. And as we begin to talk about faculty accountability, we're going to talk probably more about the courses that are mostly online. So this is our focus here, the bottom. Okay, let's talk about slide number 9. Why do students choose online learning? And students choose online learning because, in many cases, because they're busy. They are working adults. Many of them are. For example, in our doctorate program, in the Doctor of Education program that Dr. Wells and I work for at Walden, we have many principals. We have many school administrators. We have some college professors. Also, we may have directors of their organizations. Recently, I had an Air Force colonel. So these are people who are very talented. They are very busy. Their jobs keep them too busy to go to a traditional classroom. And online learning provides flexibility for them. And also it provides the quality that they need. So let's talk about slide number 10. Perceived student satisfaction in online and face-to-face courses. You can see that many people feel that the quality is about the same. Many people feel that it's about the same. And as I mentioned earlier, in the last few years, perceptions about online learning have been changing. And there is more of a feeling, many academic leaders now feel that that online is equal or maybe superior. In some cases, many academic leaders feel now that it is superior. Okay, slide number 12.
Slide 12.
Okay, so you can see that many academic leaders do feel that it's close to the same. And now slide 13. What kind of faculty training is provided for faculty? This is an important question, and I will tell you that on universities, most universities with quality online programs, they provide a great deal of training for faculty, and this is very important. So most of them use internally run training courses. This is what we do at Walden University, and this also at the University of Phoenix as well, where I also work. They use internally run training courses, and that is, the courses are operated by professors and administrators in the university. Let's talk about slide number 14, quality control of online learning in the United States. Being successful as an online instructor requires different skills than being successful as an on-site instructor. The skills that are required in many cases are very different. So, first of all, how do we control the quality of faculty who are teaching online in the United States? Well, first of all, there's often a very rigorous hiring process. In many cases, faculty themselves, they have to take very demanding courses to qualify to become faculty in online programs. This is true at the University of Phoenix. The University of Phoenix faculty have to take a 3-week, and very rigorous training program before they can become faculty. Many people fail these programs. At Walden University as well, faculty have to take a very rigorous training program. So this is both of these are important. And then also we require them to have certain credentials. We are required, we have in the United States, we have regional accreditation bodies, which are nonprofit bodies, but they control quality. They help control quality among universities. And they require that faculty have certain credentials. So for example, if you teach in a doctorate program in the United States, you have to have a doctorate yourself. If you teach in a master's program, if you teach in a lower level program, you may have a master's degree. Okay, accountability for online, we're now on slide 15. Accountability for online education in the United States. So there are several ways that faculty quality is checked. Some universities like Walden, they have a computer checking system. The computer checks to see if faculty have been present in their online courses, and or if they have not been present. And if they have not been present, they get a reminder on that. Also, there are mentors and faculty reviewers who go in and check the quality. And at the University of Phoenix, faculty quality is checked about once a year. A faculty mentor will go in and check the quality of the course at the University of Phoenix. And there are rubrics that are used. For universities, use rubrics to check the quality of the faculty. So they have ways of doing that. Let's go to slide 16.
Slide 16.
Okay, and there are several benchmarks that we look at that help control quality, and those have to do with the individual growth of a student, graduation rate, and dissertation presentation rate at graduate programs, and of course career readiness. Now slide 17. Let me make a few more remarks about systems of accountability for faculty before I take your questions. And that is, most completely online universities, they have a system where a mentor checks a course, and they will check and see, for example, how long it was until a faculty answered students. They may check and see how long emails were left unanswered. They will check the quality of grading. And the nice thing about the online system is this can all be easily checked. So they will check also the quality of the grading. They'll go in and look at an assignment that was graded. And again, in some schools, it's a once-a-year thing. After a faculty's been hired, initially they are checked often, and then after they teach 1 or 2 courses successfully, about once a year, they are evaluated. And there is a specific rubric for faculty evaluation. It looks at, as I mentioned, it looks at quality of feedback provided. If a faculty member did not provide very much feedback on a paper, that can go against them. Also, the number of times they posted in a discussion forum during a given week, that's also considered very important. And as well as the quality of their responses to students. Were their responses short? Were they one-sentence responses, or were they thorough? So these are some of the issues involved, and I'd like for Dr. Wells to be involved. Shall we have Dr. Wells? Well, let me take your questions first, and then we'll have Dr. Wells summarize by audio.
Okay.
Okay, we have questions?
Let me check if we have questions through the website. No, but by now we don't have questions through the website, but I have a question, if possible. So what do you think? Is there any place for mobile learning in that system of assessment as you described? Or any special issues regarding mobile learning as mobile learning becomes more and more popular?
Yes, it is popular, but what happens is that the mobile learning systems, okay, for example, the University of Phoenix has a mobile learning app. They have an app for iPhones and Androids, and students and faculty can both interact with that, and they do, okay? But it doesn't matter to the university whether faculty use a laptop or a cell phone, as long as they do their job. That's the thing. But I can say that online faculty, many are using mobile devices now. I certainly use one. I know I use my mobile device to stay in touch with students wherever I am. And I know many faculty are like that. So you can, with many systems, you can teach from an iPhone. You can post to a discussion from an iPhone. However, there are some systems which are too complex. And because of the technology of the devices, since we continue to have tablets without flash, for example, and without tablets that won't run Java. So there are still many technological problems. Some of the online systems are too complicated for mobile devices to handle at this point.
Oh yeah, different generations of devices provide serious challenges for mobile developers. I really know about it.
Right.
Okay, thank you for answering my question. And now I think we should try to contact Dr. Wells, right?
Okay, great. Yes, please do. And I can see if he is. Would you like to call him, or should he call you?
I'll try to call him. And by the way, your presentation is placed on individual page as other presentation on our website.
Okay.
So if we had no question by the moment you finished your speech, it actually doesn't mean that we won't have questions at all. So I kindly ask you maybe in an hour just to check the page of website, because I believe some people listening to you may think about it first and then simply type questions on your presentation page.
I'll try to do that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.